What's up everyone? My name is Sarah. Welcome to my very first video. I'm so happy to have you all here and I'm so excited to get this journey started. Today what we're going to be talking about is how to ask for a pay raise, how to get that guap, how to get that money that you deserve. So let's get this party started. Let me start off by saying a little bit about myself. So I come with over 10 years of management experience. I've learned so much throughout my career. And I always say so just bear with me. So I've learned so much throughout my career and I've taught a ton of people a lot of things about management, how to be a better employee, how to have a better work ethic, you name it. There's a lot that I've taught them and I think I want to do that at a much broader scale, which is the reason why I've started off this YouTube channel. I've watched a ton of videos. I'm a big YouTube fanatic. I've watched people that talk about how to start a YouTube channel, how to be an entrepreneur, how to move up in a corporate setting, but they don't really talk about how to move up in a maybe it's a retail environment, if it's in a hospital environment, what have you. They don't really speak about that, and that's really what I want to bring to the YouTube platform. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to have the support of my viewers, and if you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to write those in the comments below. I'm so open to opinions. Please try to be respectful. This is my very first video, so I know I'm not going to be perfect by any means. A little bit about my background. So, you know, I grew up in Camden, New Jersey, which a lot of you probably know where that is. And, you know, I saw my family struggle to survive. I'm lucky enough to, and I'm very grateful for what I have now. My fiance and I just bought a beautiful home really, really close to Boston. Just moved here from Pennsylvania. Shout out to my Pennsylvania peeps. And I am so grateful for everything that I have, and I want to help others be able to get to that spot as well. I think that 2020, that's what it's all about for me, making people better around me and making people feel more confident in their own skin. And that's why I decided to finally do this after years of contemplating it. So let's get this started. So in the very beginning of the video, we're going to talk about tips that you can do to get your pay bump. So hopefully this helps you out. And if you have any other suggestions for any of the viewers, please feel free to write them in the comments below. Obviously, these are things that have worked for me and things that have worked for the employees that have come to me. And I think that they will be extremely useful for some of my viewers out there. So tip number one, and don't mind me looking at my notes, I made some time to prepare for this and I wanted to make sure that I was on point and on purpose with this, or else this would turn into a half-hour video and you don't want that and I don't want that. So number one, so be prepared for the conversation before you approach your manager. Often people will go up to their managers and say, hey, do you have a couple of minutes to talk? And they aren't ready for that conversation. You must be ready for the conversation about pay before you walk up to them, because you just never know if they're going to say, hey, let's sit down right now, and you're not prepared for that. Make sure you think through what you want to say and why you think that you deserve a pay raise. Something I always say to people that come to me for a pay bump is, you know, there's people that have no idea what you do on a daily basis. And maybe I have zero idea what you do. And it's really important for you to be able to speak to some of the things that you contribute to the store or the environment that you work in on a daily basis. This way, it helps the manager understand why you deserve that pay raise. It's kind of like selling yourself to an extent. So number two is know the pay that you want. A range is fine, but make sure you know the minimum. So what I would say is something to the extent of this. So let's just say that you need an extra dollar raise. So let's just say you make $13 right now. You need to have $14 extra. You need to be not $14 extra dollars, but you need to get your pay up to $14 to be able to survive. What I would say is say $14 to $14.50 is what you're open to. I think a range is very important, and I think it's important to also be a little bit flexible in those scenarios. If you give them the minimum that you need, that's really important, but make sure you start at the minimum and then you go up an extra 50 cents to $1 or something like that. Obviously, I'm talking about hourly associates. Whenever it comes to salary, it might be a little bit different of a situation. So if you need an additional $5,000, say $5 to $7,500 or $5 to $8,000 or something of that extent. But hourly associates, I would say in a dollar pay range is where I would work with. So number 3 is do not threaten to leave. What you should do is talk about why you want to be in the company. Me personally, if I am the manager that you were speaking to and you say that I'm going to leave the company, period, I feel threatened and I feel like you're not committed to me and my job and also my company. So I don't want to feel threatened, and I also want people that are committed under me. So looking at it from a manager's perspective, if there's an employee that's not committed to their job, I would much rather them move on to greener pastures or move on to where they want to go into. This way I have the team that wants to work under me and wants to do the best that they can do, I guess you could say. So what I would say in that situation is say, hey, I really love it here and I want to be a part of this team and this family. However, I need more money and I'm struggling right now. And we'll get through that in a couple of minutes here. But that's what I would say is do not threaten to leave. Number 4 is speak to why you deserve the pay bump. So often people will just come to me and they'll say, hey, I want to talk to you about I want to talk to you about a pay bump. And they never speak to why they think that they deserve that pay raise. And that is always a bad thing, just because, first of all, maybe I don't know everything that person does. Maybe I have zero idea that person busts their butt every single day. They show up to work on time every single day. They haven't called off, all that fun stuff. And they're not talking to me about that. Maybe I'm only seeing a snapshot of what they do on a daily basis. Because for me, I have over 100 employees. I can't keep up with every single person that's in my building. And I do speak to every single person, but I don't watch every single person like a hawk. So it's important in those moments to really talk about what they bring to the table and what they do for my location, I guess you could say. So that's a big thing. So make sure you sit down and you think about everything that you do on a daily basis. Now, I will give you a heads up. If you just suck at work ethic and you don't show up to work on time and you constantly call off, you're constantly on your cell phone whenever you should be working or finding something to do, bro cha-cha. Maybe you should figure out how to look at yourself in the mirror and fix yourself before you ask for a pay bump. Don't put yourself in that situation where you have a terrible work ethic and you go to your manager asking them for a pay raise. There's nothing more irritating to me than that. So let me just start off with that. Number 5 is if they say no to you, just ask for next steps. So, okay, I appreciate your honesty. I want to really talk to you about some of the feedback that you could potentially give me and the next steps from here, because I really need this pay raise and I want to do better for the store, better for your location, and I'm hearing what you're saying. So let's say that I work on all the things that you talk about. When can we sit down again to really talk about pay raise? Don't be afraid to ask for those next steps, and also be open to that feedback. It's often that people don't show humility and they aren't open to feedback and they think of it as an attack at them as a human being. However, it's not. It's not an attack at them as a human being. This is about work and it's about being a professional and it's about being a better person. So take that feedback and run with it. I'll tell you right now that I wouldn't be the person I am or the manager I am if I wasn't given feedback pretty much on a daily basis. But if I wasn't open to that feedback and I wasn't willing to change, it would have put me in a really bad position as a person in general and as a manager. So take what they have to say, because feedback makes you a better person, makes you a better individual and a better employee. And then number 6 is just ask. If you don't ask, you may not get that pay raise. Don't expect for managers to know exactly how much you make every single day. So for me, I have over 100 employees and I do look through rosters. However, a lot of the times I'm not looking department by department or employee by employee. So sometimes employees expect me to understand and know how much they make, and I just don't. There's a lot of moving pieces on a daily basis that I have to take care of. I'll tell you, my to-do list before I went on vacation was over 20 things I had to check off my list. Sometimes it's really difficult to even have a conversation with an employee, let alone looking through a roster and looking at every single person's pay individually. So make sure you ask. Don't be afraid to ask. because it's going to be a learning experience for you. And for me, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable has made me better, and it makes me better at those conversations. So don't be afraid to ask about those things. I swear I can never ever finish a YouTube video without being interrupted. I've been trying to do this for like 2 weeks at this point, and I've recorded this like 20 times and I can never do it straight through. So I'm just gonna insert my future self into this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this gave you a lot of insight. If you liked what you see, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any ideas of topics that I can do in the future, don't forget to write in the comments. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.